Hello, everyone. I believe Jack, I'm going to check to see if he is in here. The participants, then we'll get him upgraded here. Give us one moment, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, where are you, Jack? What did I see him? Not yet, not yet. This session will be from Jack Whitfield on sustainable tiny homes. We're just trying to get him in here. Give us just a minute. They're over in Kauai, Hawaii. Hawaii. All right, I don't see him in here yet. Zach, do you want to see if you can?
Yeah, he's texting me right now.
Okay. Little troubleshooting here, but we're getting close.
He said he can hear you, so
He can hear us. Let's see,
yeah.
What's his name on the? All right.
Maybe Soul.
Let's see, where are you, Jack? He's in here. We just gotta find him. Okay.
Oh, maybe the W at the very bottom.
Whitfield, did he text you back? What did he say?
He said Soul Project.
Soul Project. All right, we're looking. There he is. Huh. All right, guys. He's in here somewhere. We're just trying to get him on the as a panelist here. Give us one moment. Oh, thank you, Chantel. We are tired.
Hey, it's Zach. Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Can you try typing inside of the chat box and just say, "I'm Jack," and then we can promote you up to panelist.
There he is.
There he is.
As on Andrea.
Okay.
All right,
awesome. Thanks so much, Jack. We'll see you on the inside now.
All right, we found Jack. He should be coming on any second now. All right, let's see.
There we go.
There we go.
Awesome.
Jack.
There you are, Jack. Hey, aloha.
Looks like you might be muted. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Yes,
Awesome,
sir.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Aloha. Aloha.
We're live and everyone's here, so we'll let you take it away, man.
Excited.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and same to you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity. Super grateful for this experience to share. I do feel we're living in a time where it's so potent to share our peace and our passion and our path to really empower one another. So super grateful for this. Thank you all for listening and tuning in with this. Yeah, I just want to kind of, I guess, introduce myself. Jack Whitfield, a bush kid from Australia, now living on Kauai. I've been here for 10 years, Kauai, Hawaii, small little island, middle of the ocean. Grew up in the bush in Australia and traveled and have seen many different ways of living in life. And in essence, there's so many different forms of living. And on my path, growing up in the bush and seeing really some sustainable and really holistic kind of rootsy homesteading living expressions, I really had that as my compass. And as I said, traveling in the world and seeing all these other forms, it's really brought me back to a service to really step in and share my gifts, my passion, my path with building. I really do feel that's my creative outlet, and also a place that humanity is really seeking some remembrance, some guidance into other ways, alternative ways. And I do feel the tiny house movement and newer shift of living expressions is really, really helpful. We've lived in a really consumative kind of larger, bigger homes and cars and vehicles. It's just like this. We want more and more and more, and I do feel really passionate about still having value and really showing up and creating the quality in these smaller these homes and these hales is the Hawaiian word, but in essence, really passionate about the quality and what are we using. So in essence, like the food industry and the medical industry and all these other massive industries, they're more and more utilizing material produce that is processed. And for me, a lot of my passion is creating homes with more raw and whole material. So really utilizing material that hasn't been processed, imported, and through that, I really feel we're creating these homes that are healing homes. They are, in essence, tapping back into maybe how more of our ancestors had done it for eons of time, and really learning from those avenues and mixing it in with today's convenience and today's ways. So it's not like a massive jump, and we're feeling uncomfortable and in essence not really feeling like our nest, our home is really a nurturing place. So it's kind of this bridge, this blend, and in that I do feel utilizing materials, conscious materials that are locally sourced, sustainable, reclaimed, mindfully, conscious heart-based materials. I really do feel that merge is what humanity's craving, calling for. We have seen the other paradigm. We've felt these other toxic synthetic artificial materials that have been known and have had many studies through their problematic applications. So learning from that, not trying to hate on it too much, but learning from the dualistic world and learning from the what is, and then leaning into how do we go from that point and shift into a more mindful construction form. And in that, I've created soul projects, sustainable organic living projects. It's a nonprofit foundation that I've been dreaming up and now have been applying for the last 5 years that has helped shift the paradigm, helped shift the consciousness here in Kauai. And of course, it's rippling out throughout the world. But I do feel our passion and our path is to really look at how can we tick as many boxes as we can when we build a home. We spend so much time in these homes. It is really a huge part of our existence, a human existence, to have a home. So to really put the love and energy into it as it deserves, and so do we in this symbiotic relationship with this nest, this home, is really been a beautiful journey. And of course, it's continuing. It's a long path. We're really tapping into more of the purity and more of the organics in these building materials and really loving what we're finding. Most things are brought in by these boats here in Hawaii. There's just so many big corporate entities bringing in their material. It's easy, it's convenient, and it's just the norm. It's all building permitted and architecturally engineered, stamped, and it's just the what is. And I get it to some degree, but I also am kind of like wondering, like, what are we here for? What are we in these bodies for? And in that, in my meditations, I'm calling in, and how can I be in the greatest service? And how can I really show up with my hands and heart daily and help shift that? So Soul Project was birthed to really give back, create sustainable healing homes. And we're living on Kauai, housing crisis, all across the state, actually, and probably the world. There's really some major fundamental living expressions that are harsh. We, as humans, don't even have a home. There's many people that are being displaced. There's many people that have had Hawaiian lineage that have lived on these beautiful islands and stewarded them for so long, and then they've been kind of pushed out. So really, the tiny house movement and the tiny house application, I really do feel is a beautiful way to give a simple structure back to these people in service to really cultivating and caring for these lands. And especially here in the subtropics, we can really live more and more outside. You know, these smaller homes almost make us get outside, that connectivity of really being closer to nature, because we don't have all the luxuries and all this huge you know, interior kind of busyness on the screen, scrolling and whatnot. So in essence, these homes have been a really beautiful shift from what I've seen. I've been living in tiny homes for many years with my family. Soul Projects has a facility ground here on the North Shore of Kauai. We have permaculture, biodynamic gardens. We have many little tiny homes, and we have a big sustainable building facility. This facility is probably the biggest in all of Hawaii. It's a guess, but no one else is really doing it. And why I feel it's the biggest is there's many reasons, but one is social norms and building norms, and one is we've just forgotten. So Soul Projects is really here to re-inspire and to share these ways that we're learning and discovering, and in that there's so much opportunity. And of course we can call it problems and whatnot, but there's so much opportunity here. We're utilizing the invasive tree species. There's so much diversity here, and it's been a trade route for so long that there's so many trees that are problematic. So utilizing those trees and redirecting their energy is massive. So we have all these wood mills. I don't even know how many we got. We got 5 different kinds of wood mills that are basically transforming these trees, these beautiful big tree beings, into healing homes. And it's kind of, you know, it's sad to take out a tree and clear a jungle, even though we're doing it mindfully and really tuning in with those trees and doing it in a way that is honoring and as respectful as we can, although it's still not an easy job. But we do feel there's a huge benefit to redirecting these trees. So the Arbesia invasive tree species are the main invasive tree here in Hawaii, and they're huge. They're massive big trunks, and they have a huge canopy, and they're extremely quick growing. They're not from here, so they grow too fast in the ideal growing conditions here. They have massive canopies, and they can blow down. We have a lot of wind, we have a lot of rain, so they get waterlogged, a lot of the termite infestation. And in essence, we have a huge problem across the state, and Soul Projects is helping transform that problem into sustainable solutions. So we're milling these trees daily. It's a really amazing process to transform them into dimensional lumber. We do a lot of organic kind of posts like what you're seeing here in the background, but we also do the dimensional lumber, because that's a nice bridge for most contractors and tradespeople. You know, the 2x4s, 4x4s, and this kind of dimensional 6x6, 8x8, this post and beam style we love. We're actually in the process right now is the current project is building a sustainable Arbesia tiny home and shipping it to a family in Maui, Lahaina. And there is being extreme devastation there, as I'm sure you know. We are showing up for our neighbor island and a family there in need, and creating a little ripple across the ocean here. Because most homes, like I said, are processed plywood boxes. And in essence, I do feel that works. It is a way to really create quick solutions, but just like food, eating packaged food or processed food, is that really the answer to help with starvation? I really don't feel it is. It has a whole ripple of effects of other potential problems. So in essence, this tiny house that we're building is about 90% local sustainable material. Not perfect, where, you know, there's so much room for improvement. We're still using petroleum-based roofing and plumbing, electrical, and some window materials. So, you know, still some opportunity there to really tap into how we can create these hales, these Hawaiian homes, and really show up for one another. That one is about halfway through the build, and we're putting it on a triple axle trailer so we can relocate it to Maui to help out with the family there. So that's pretty massive at the moment. Just checking my notes here. Yeah, and part of that process, and part of every process is the education part. So in essence, the daily devotion that we're doing on the land at Soul Projects is really, if it's guiding the kids or teaching the kids, it's the same. They're teaching us and guiding us and reminding us of these ways. So it's all very symbiotic in that essence. But part of our practice is to really show up for the keiki. That's the Hawaiian word for kids. And these keiki coming in these days are really, really curious and really wanting to absorb alternative ways, it seems. There's so many other, educational programs and standards, schooling situations, but they're really thirsty for something that's different. So at Soul Projects, we are co-creating an educational platform that we've been doing for years. And that is really giving the kids another alternative education system where they're learning conscious cooking, organic farming, and sustainable building. And through that, these bases of life, right, they get to kind of see these other practices, and I tell the kids, this is not the way, it's just a way. And that way they can kind of tune in and feel, where they want to, create or co-create or exist in. And I feel that's really a potent part of today's offering at Soul Projects. I do want to also speak about, the importance of the education, the kids, but also like what is our time right now? I feel in my mid-age, I'm 40, and I feel really, if we are a human, if we came here and existing in these bodysuits, what is our offering? What are we doing to show up? And I feel there's plenty of opportunities. I do feel the way we are treating this earth is so important. And we can look at so many ways we're mistreating the earth, and I feel if we need to, that's nice to have that contrast. But really, it does feel like a paradigm, a conscious shift, if you will, where we're really tapping into different ways of existing. And through that, I do feel it is crucial right now to really check ourselves and one another and have that relationship with our brothers and sisters and our family, and friends and whatnot, that we can really help inspire one another, because there's so many beautiful tiny homes around the world that are being built. And I do know it's a beautiful movement, but I really want to help inspire and uplift and empower one another through more and more conscious shifts, more and more material choices and designs that can really help the environment. So we're maximizing our life expression and are really showing up for one another, and not just that, for many generations to come. So I do want to offer my service freely to anyone. I always like to consult and just share my words, my wisdom, as a little offering to help open source, be of service to all, and really bounce those ideas off one another as we are all learning and teaching. And I feel that's the power of today's ways. So love to tune in more with others that are doing it around the world too, to get more perspective and understanding. I feel that's huge. I feel a part of the whole tiny house movement is also the versatility and how we can utilize these alternative structures to be inspirational for shifting the ways of like county and state and all of this as well, because we're seeing these homes stacked, these apartment buildings, and we're seeing these styles of living that are pulling us more and more away from nature. And I do feel that the tiny house form is a beautiful way to have them more connected on these farms and more integral in these community versions where we can really share maybe not in our blood family, and that's beautiful too, but in almost our star family. These communities are being created around the world of tiny home communities where you're having multiple different families and beings that are living together, that are coming back and reconnecting with one another, also the land. And I do feel there's a very beautiful reconnective essence that's happening through these homes. And I do get really excited for this. I really do feel the more that we tap into how our ancestors have lived, I really do feel the more we lean in and learn from these ways, we can really bring that purity back into our lives. And living with others in these community forms or in these tiny house villages, I really do feel is great. So we can support one another through our emotional needs, through our physical forms of farming and education and this. I do feel it is a really beautiful paradigm when we're living back in that way, supporting one another. And we don't need our own laundry and our own, this and our own that. We can really hui up. That's a Hawaiian word for community, but we can really come together in this community form and really collectively support. And I do feel that is a beautiful byproduct, if you will, of these smaller homes where we're not like independently my this and my that and my big this, but we're like just sharing more. And I do feel that is such a potent part of today's ways, is where we can kind of put our differences aside, or, move through a lot of the separation and division and come back to that unifying form. So that is another aspect that we're learning pretty much on a daily basis at Soul Projects, our little community sustainable building facility and permaculture expression. I just wanted to tap back into one other part of the Arbesias, of kind of going backwards here, but these big, beautiful trees that we're removing. Part of the holistic approach that I didn't share was that we are replanting native trees, fruiting hardwoods, and food forests in those areas. So it's really a holistic approach to give back and really set up for generations to come, and taking out these, these really invasive tree species and whatnot, and then replanting in these ways that can set up, for hundreds of years to come. I know that's really a long ways out, but I really do feel if we are in these times and we are seeing these models, how can we really amplify their expression? And so part of our mission too is to really plant up and love up these jungles and return them to more of a balance. So I feel that's, a beautiful analogy to maybe to wrap this up in the next couple of minutes is balance. And really, I find that is where we're at. We're kind of sitting on this teetering turning point. We've seen so many expressions of inorganics, and we've seen so many expressions of organics, and we're really kind of at that turning point, if you will, to really check ourselves and really get back into a form of care. And I do, I really see the need of that in today's ways. We are really pushing the environment and pushing this human expression to a form that is seeing some major repercussions. So in essence, that balance point and that that place where we can move ourselves out of like sustainability, we use that word, remove ourselves out of like just this like just trying to survive. We're just trying to survive, but how do we get out of that into like thrive? And that's where I do feel that unity can really help. And when we take care of one another on this planet, we can really take these days and turn them into an incredible human expression where we're totally amplifying, uplifting, and inspiring one another. And I feel that is a really amazing paradigm that we're here and we're shifting and we're living and learning through. So that is an exciting expression or living form that I'm seeing that's coming through us really yeah, and a dire need and necessary turning point. So I wanted to voice that and just kind of share, because we've seen so many different global unelected entities and big named billionaires that are really not doing the most loving, caring, sharing forms to humanity. There's this big divide, and I really want to use this moment here to really help us be aware of that and really discern and feel into these rules and regulations and these governing organizations that are really looking out for their deep pockets and their big interests. And I do feel us, the humans, do hold the power once we can unite and come together. It really is that time. And yeah, I just want to leave with that unification, that we come together, we support one another, and these kids that are coming through, we really look out for their future and the generations to come after that. I really want to leave with this message. I thank all of you for doing what you're doing at home and wherever you're watching this from. Really grateful for this opportunity to speak and share my piece, my little piece. But I do feel there's a lot of potency when we do share and open it up and really tap into our heart and feel into what's necessary in these days. So thank all of you. Many blessings and big aloha from I was going to say Australia, and from Australia, but from Kauai as well. Many blessings, and once again, yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity.